Welcome to the Point Podcast, a production of Garde Voir Ci magazine. Our spring 2023 season features a look into the lost youth culture of Southeast Louisiana. For more information, visit our website at gardevoirci.nichols.edu.
Hello, everybody. This is Quincy Evans here with another quick little interview with a local music producer. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, my name is Cameron Eschete. I am out of Houma. I am a local music producer and songwriter, multi-talented musician.
Thank you. And here we're just going to go into sort of like the inside information on how he got started with the entire music producer industry and sort of some of his favorite memories with doing the job and everything. So can you tell me how one gets in, starts becoming a music producer and everything?
It's easy when you know how to play an instrument. I'm not even going to lie to you. I remember I picked up my dad's guitar when I was really young. Fast forward almost 10 years, I was in a small wooden metal shed getting shocked because we didn't have grounding electricity, and me and my friend just bought a pair of studio monitors. And we did whatever we could to stay up all night to write a crappy little demo, and we learned as we went, just like everything. Some people don't want to learn, some people do, and some people learn halfway. And I'm definitely one of the halfway people, and I'm not sure how I get it to sound great and get as many compliments as I do, but one gets into producing by the love of music and wanting to perfect and you hear a song on the radio, you want your music to sound like that,
Yeah, I could understand that because you look up to all these people and you want to sort of do what they do, so you try to either replicate it or try to think of something new. And
exactly.
It's a lot of I'm guessing it's a lot of trial and error.
It is a lot of trial and error, yeah, because equipment goes a long way too. You can't mix on. I remember mixing my first 2 albums on a very terrible DAW, which is called a digital audio workstation, and I mixed on a gaming headset. And it sounded good in my ears, but when I would take it out to other people, it sounded like absolute crap. It was terrible. Not opinion. People would think that it sounded good because some people don't. If you have a no musical ear, it'll be hard for you to tell. It'll be kind of off, but you will be yeah. And then sometimes you just don't want to hurt their feelings, so you will tell them. I've ran into that a lot. But that's why good equipment comes into play, because when you have good equipment to mix stuff on, no matter where you put it, it's going to sound great. And that can also boost your ego. Going back into, you said you're looking to look up to people. Definitely, I look up to musicians. I inspire to play a lot of drums and a lot of keyboard and guitar, like certain people. But you have to look behind the musicians too. Lorde, actually, I know this is kind of weird, but I don't really enjoy her music that much. But don't cancel me. But her producer is honestly one of the best producers I've heard. Great mix. I know that he does a lot of her drums and stuff is amazing. And then Billie Eilish and Phineas is a great producer too. The technological stuff that he knows about DAWs and EQs and mixing and mastering, it's really in depth. And when you listen to it, it shines through how you hear every instrument clear in the mix, and everything brings a point in the music. It's really awesome. The big scene in music, people, record labels, I honestly have no idea how this stuff works. I have a studio outside of my house. I run it off of a Dell laptop. I'm not very experienced. I know how to mix and master and how to record and get stuff on studios, in stores. And I usually make my client that comes into the studio, pay $20 a year with the third-party company that I recommend, because that's how I put my music out. And they usually love it. $20 a year, and you get to put whatever song, whatever album, however many you want, and you don't have to pay any extra, no hidden fees like that. So my last client, he's actually a Nichols alumni of 2022, Brendan Carroll. He won Editor's Choice Awards and 2 of the Mosaics here. Great poet. He had graduated with an English major last year. Him and I co-wrote an album called Different Ways to Love, and it's on Spotify. There's also 2 singles called Monorail and Alley. I co-wrote with him, so I played a lot of the music. It was all his original songs. Some of them he wrote on the spot for the album. But what I did was he came into the studio, and he would show me the song, and I would lay down some of his tracks, and I would layer my tracks on top of his, and we'd write, and we'd go back and forth. This sounds good. This doesn't sound good. What should we add? What shouldn't we add? What should we take away? And at the end of it, I took everything, I mixed it down, made everything sound perfect the way he wanted it, the way I wanted it, the way, suggestions, go back and forth, bounce ideas, and then I sent it all off to him once the files were done and edited the way we think it sounded perfect. And we put it to the third party, and they put it on Spotify, Apple Music. It's even reached, I don't know if it's reached, but it's definitely on Indian and Australian and Chinese platforms.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all over the world. It is still very local. I think on Spotify, that's probably the only one we keep track of because it's the mainstream. That's what I use, it's what he uses, what we all use.
Right.
I think it's only like 15 monthly listeners. So to say that they even would listen in Dubai or something is crazy, but I mean, I would be hopeful.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. And see, I listen to a lot of podcasts with musicians on them, and they always explain how they start local and they play in bars, they play gigs, and that's how they get themselves out there. I haven't played a gig. I played one gig, and it was somebody will stop me on the side of the road in the neighborhood. It's like, hey, I've seen you play music. Come play at my Halloween party, and they wound up paying us, and that's how the whole studio came into play.
Gotcha.
So it kind of, I landed this miraculous event.
So it's a lot of like how you got up and everything is mostly like word to mouth.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Word to mouth. I mean, you are talking to me because one of my friends know what I do.
fair enough.
You know?
So I could kind of see where you're coming from, like especially in small towns and small neighborhoods, like down here in South Louisiana, word of mouth is like very crucial to just about everything.
So when you play gigs, like I was saying, when these big bands like Polyphia, I'm just gonna name drop. It's one of my favorite bands right now. When they were local, they started playing gigs, and they actually, when they opened for a festival, they were still so small that their old name got stolen by one of the bigger bands, and they couldn't do anything about it. So they had to change their name to Polyphia. But when you start headlining and opening, that's when people take notice of you. If you go to a festival as a 4-piece band and you're just like ragtag and all you do is rehearse in your garage and getting shocked if it's metal, you will start to take people's attention and you'll actually grow. So you have to get out there and do it. You got to put yourself out there, be the face of your own music. That's the only way you're gonna get attention.
Okay, so how many people have you helped produce their music? Because I know you did. Your most recent one was the Nichols alumni, but was there any more that really stood out to you?
There was one guy I went to elementary school with who he's actually going through a rough patch. So shout out to him. His I'm not gonna name drop, but he came through. We started talking on Snapchat for a few months, and he came through with some raps. And I haven't seen this dude since I was 10, 11, and we're growing up now. And he came through, and he had this really, really awesome poetic rap, and I made a beat for him, and we put some tracks down. Now it's been about a month and a half since we met up, and I can't wait to see what else he has. I've been making some more beats for him, but that one really stood out, to say I just randomly added him on Snapchat not knowing if he was even active, and then he's in my studio rapping. It's cool. But other than that, my biggest project is in 2020. I started making an album with my friend who moved to New Orleans, and we've been working on that album ever since. The music is done. There's just the mastering and the producing needs to be finished, and we're almost done. I mean, I paid for the album. I paid a guy from Australia to do the album art, and it was freaking fantastic. Well spent money. Well spent.
What's the name of the album, actually?
The album is going to be called Saturday.
Oh, it's not out yet?
No, I wish. I can't wait for it to release, but my friend works a full-time job in New Orleans, so it's hard for him to... He has all of the files for that album.
Gotcha.
So I had no control over what's happening. Now, I can go visit him and put my foot in his butt and say, hey, let's get it done. But he's got a full-time job, and he lives with a significant other, so I understand.
Yeah, because I actually have a friend that does music as well. He makes, his own albums and stuff.
Oh, really?
He makes music for his own thing, and he's in another band as well.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, some of his music is on our second and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a DJ actually.
That's awesome.
But he dropped out because of unfortunate reasons. But anything. But he around here, he was essentially our Well, he was essentially.
He's the face of KNSU.
Kind of that, and in terms of music, he would be kind of like the Beatles. Just
I love the Beatles, man.
Yeah, but
that's awesome.
back in the debut, it was like, but where everyone knew about them and everyone had to go see them, or like they weren't in the norm or whatever.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
he was just like that big and everything. So like, and seeing him still like make music and everything is pretty fun and interesting.
He's still making music even though he dropped out.
Yeah, he's still
wonderful.
He actually came here to do like a live performance actually.
Oh wow!
And he's like releasing another album.
That's awesome.
Like a few months.
That's awesome.
So like having people there and see like how far they'll go and everything. Have you ever met like some people like that and like they'll go far in the industry or anything?
My godfather he's a retired bass player DJ of New Orleans area. He goes far now. His old band is still playing and they're fantastic. They have a good crowd following, but they're only a local band. They haven't gone far yet. So I haven't met anybody that's actually from here taking it up to the next place, like, going playing festivals. There's only one band. I have another friend who's like a very very big nerd on just about everything he knows, music, TV shows, you name it. He knows the most ridiculous random facts too, but he knows this band called Acid Bath, which is like, Acid Bath should be enough explaining what the band is. It's a very unhinged metal band.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But they're actually all from Homa. They graduated from HL, and his mom's friend used to date the drummer or something like that. So it's crazy, but that's the only time I've ever heard of a band from Homa that's made it, pretty big. For sure. And I've only ever met, like, people that are down here. Usually I find it's nothing to diss on our town or anything, but it's such a small community down here, and there's not a whole lot of, I don't want to say prospects, but I guess prospects for lack of better words, that people tend to think they get discouraged down here. They get discouraged because there's not a lot of opportunity, yeah, for sure. And see, if it's not like Nashville. Nashville is country and rock up. Yeah, exactly. You go to Nashville, you play on the street, you're going to get a gig within a week, and boom, you'll be making records next year. But it's not like that down here. I wish it was. But
I understand where you're going with that. Like you said, like there's not a lot of opportunity down here.
Yeah.
It's just that like I feel like with years of like destruction with like natural disasters and like lots of other actions and everything, that it discourages them because like they can't. It's hard to like make a living around here, even though like in Louisiana where like one of our biggest cultures is through music and everything. So like with them going out to other places, like it sort of like gets them to be bigger or whatnot.
Yeah, natural disasters do play a part in that because it's like people lose instruments, people lose homes.
It literally takes like hurricane season literally takes up like half a year for us.
Exactly.
The last thing I would like to ask is like,
sure.
How far do you think that you'll be as a music producer? Do you think like you'll have this like full time or is this like a little stop or like a little point in your life?
Side hobby
maybe. But do you think that with everything that you have done so far that you'll want to keep doing it for a long time or just keep it as it is right now?
Whether I produce other people's music or not, I know that I'm going to still write my own music. Even if I don't write and release, I'll write for my own pleasure. I'll cover for my own pleasure. Because, I bought a lot of equipment and I have a studio for some reason. But right now, my main goal is I actually just graduated high school out of an adult education program, so I'm very excited about that. And I'm going to Fletcher here in the fall in August. But I plan in the year 2028 as my goal to open a brand new coffee shop in Homa. So this is the first time I released it publicly.
Cool.
I have no idea what's going to happen yet. I have some ideas for menu, but that's like it. I'm very basic, dry bones for that right now. So when it comes to that, depending on how the coffee shop goes and if I hire employees, whatever that's going to happen, that will probably determine the whole path of my music.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on to this little show. And is there anything that you'd like to shout out, like the socials or any place that they could hear your music or anything?
You can follow me music_Eschete, ESCHETE, and then I can probably DM you my link. or anything like that. I'm gonna try and get the link on my my bio today on my website, so that'd be kind of cool. The link to the artist page to Brendan. That's the one I really want to shout out the most. The alumni from here. He's got a great voice, great musician, and I really would like to get that some more hype in the local area. If because we were gonna gig before he moved to Baton Rouge. He's actually going to law school now, so congrats to him.
Okay. Well, thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye.
That will conclude this episode. Thanks for listening, and check out our other episodes on the lost youth culture of Southeast Louisiana.